Hello and welcome back, folks. Who is this? With that massive beard and somewhat pixelated shield? Well, we can't blame him too much for the pixels. I mean, this game does hail back to what was it, like 2013 or something in there. But yeah, this is Spartacus, folks. That's right, Spartacus is now a part. I should have said Spartacus and Particus, but obviously I can't put you all through that. But I did just plant the idea in your head, so now you have to live with it. Yeah, so Spartacus has found his way into Rome 2. And you might be asking, Air, how is this possible? Spartacus wasn't in that game the last time that I checked. Well, the slave faction, or in this case, the Servile Rebellion, has now landed in the Unconquered Sun mod, which is the mod that has been used for the sub-commanders battles. And I'm going to make sure and actually pause this so we can check them out. So generally speaking, this faction is a little different from others in the sense that their numbers of entities in the units is usually a little larger. Their quality is a little lower, but they have a little bit better than average leadership, so they'll hang in a fight a little longer. And they do have some elite units that kind of help to bolster leadership and help the rest of the troops. And Spartacus is the special commander that they get access to, and that would be him right there. Like I said, pretty cool shield on him. Let's take a look at this. There is the Rebellion ability here, which is going to come with Spartacus, which increases melee attack, damage, morale, and fatigue reduction, obviously. And then we got I Am Spartacus, which is like a multi-phase thing here that starts off with melee defense and morale, and then ultimately, again, makes them unbreakable and fatigue resistant, like all kinds of cool stuff. This unit can also chant, which is going to give extra morale. Looks like they have Hoplite Wall and Courage. So again, these elite units are supposed to keep the cheaper ones going. And it does look like in this case that Spartacus is going to be used as player 2. This is a 3v3. We're going to have the Servile Rebellion, Syracuse, and Armenia. And they're going to be going up against the Suebi, Galatia, and Seleucids. I can already see some Ozit Knights on the other side, so I'm happy. This is going to be good. We got Spartacus and Ozit Knights. So player 2 is, like I said, the Spartacus faction here, the Servile Rebellion. They got some Rebel Spears up front. Looks like they do have a Frenzy charge ability, and then we're going to have some Rebel Slingers. These have very low missile damage, but they're going to make up for it a little bit with numbers. I believe they have higher numbers than the standard unit, and they have good range as well. So interesting way to balance those out. But yeah, there's 3 Rebel Slingers, and then there are some Rebel Marksmen, which are going to be archer units that do standard damage, 150 range, very high armor at 55. That's a lot of armor, and it does look like they have a small block chance maybe with that shield. Could just be for looks, I'm not for sure. But we've also got some Rebel Scavengers back here, which is, I think, a slightly better spear unit. What's this here? They have stock. Okay, yeah, so they can do the stock, not be seen. The Liberators is where the general is at. We saw some of their capability here. It looks like they have the Elite Hoplite Spear, 49 attack, which is very solid. Only 90 men in that unit as well. And then I think they have the Freed Gladiator Spearmen, which I'm assuming are going to be very similar to Gladiator Spearmen, which is kind of like really high damage, but very low armor type of unit. So that's going to be the Servile Rebellion. And if you all want to try this stuff, by the way, I have a link in the description that goes to the Gathering Stone, which is the Discord that Soul started. They play games over there all the time in Rome 2. It's tons of fun. And I know a bunch of people from my Discord and from my channel who have gone and joined them. I've joined them a couple of times. It is really fun, so highly recommend it. Syracuse is going to have some Mercenary Sardinian Champions. These are the stock and high damage units that come into battle very scantily clad, but with a giant maul weapon on their arm. There's going to be, it looks like, 3 of those up front. And then in the back, we're going to have a Mercenary Samnite Warrior, Thurios Hoplite, Thorax Hoplite General, and then Samnite Warrior. And for the cavalry, we're going to be seeing Persian Cav, which is a good choice for this because Persian cavalry packs a big wallop for a good price. Then they are supported by Eastern Cataphracts. And I'm trying to see, yeah, there's some horse skirmishers over here. So we got Armored Horse Archers, 3 of those. Or sorry, 2 Noble Horse Archers and an Armored Horse Archer. The Noble Horse Archer is going to be pretty darn solid in a melee, quite solid in a melee after they fire their ammunition, and very good armor there, 90 armor. That's over double the Armored Horse Archers. I'm going to go ahead and hit play here. Let's take a look at the Galatian army. I can see some Celtic slingers up front, a few of those. Some Levy Freeman, Galatian Spear. So Galatia is player 2 here. Swaby's going to be player 1. I can see a few Club Levy. I saw the General going in and out. Some Round Shield Swords. Seleucids are going to be the cavalry. I can see a unit of Ozit Knights. Remember, Ozit Knights are cheaper in this mod. It was basically a way to help balance in that uber elite cavalry because it was basically priced out. So they're a little bit cheaper. Ozit Knight General. So dang, that is some seriously potent melee cav here. If they can get into those cataphracts without being charged, they could actually do a ton of damage. There's some Tarentine cavalry for the Seleucids. And the Suebi are actually kind of facing off with the missile cavalry over here, which is a little bit dangerous because these guys are very low armor. Very low armor. The Round Shield Swordsmen, for instance, they don't even wear a shirt to battle. These guys just cover themselves in bear grease, get a pocket full of shrooms, and then just go charging straight at their enemies. We got some Sword Masters over there as well. This is interesting how the Suebi kind of formed up out here. I guess it's to probably keep these units from getting behind them, and I think they're using the scrub to hide in and get a little bit of cover. There could be units in there with them that were hidden from the beginning, like Cimbri Bowwomen or something as well, so it's good for the Armenian player to be careful. Did I say Armenian? Am I thinking the right faction? Is it Armenia? I may be getting the wrong faction. I think it's Armenia, based on the colors. I could have it wrong, and if so, just ignore me, but we'll get to it in the end. Sometimes I trick myself with the factions on here because it has been a great deal so many years. So the Celtic Slingers are opening fire here. It does look like they have just barely got some of these units in range. Yeah, and the others are in range now too. So we're going to get a general skirmish going. We'll get to see these Rebel Slingers. Not to be confused with the Rebel Scum that are frequently referred to by the Galactic Empire, but probably still considered the same by the Romans. Rebel Scum indeed, led by Spartacus himself. In fact, if there ever was a Rebel Scum equivalent of the ancient world, then it was no doubt Spartacus. Oh man, some classic lines. I remember back in the day, like, man, Star Wars was great. I don't much like it anymore because it's just kind of getting wrecked, but that's a whole other story for a different time. That Noble Horse Archer decided to put a charge in here, and they did kill quite a few Club Levy, but oh my gosh, did they pay a horrible price for it. And they got shredded over here. That did not work out well for them. And the Suebi are on a full-on push now, and they're going to potentially be threatening this flank. A lot of focus fire coming in here, though, from those Rebel Slingers, maybe trying to weaken up some of these infantry. And let's see what happens here. Yeah, we're seeing the Rebel Slingers focusing into a Bloodsworn. That's a good target. It's going to be very low armor. Only 20 armor. They must have a decent block chance, though, because they haven't taken a ton of damage until they turn their back a little bit. Yeah, let's see. The Armenians getting pushed a little bit here. Tarentine cavalry putting some pressure on them. Let's see how this one's going to go. This is going to be interesting. Here comes the Rebel Spears charging up in the Club Levy, but there's a lot of bait and switch going on here from the Suebi, which this is a very nice tactic if it succeeds here in Rome 2, which is to kind of ruin your enemy's charge and then bait and switch with another unit. It can be quite effective if you pull it off properly. Here comes those Sardinian champions. They need to get into combat very quickly, and they are quick. Look at them go there. They're going to come crashing into combat here, but they're getting the bait and switch for the round shields. It looks like they went ahead and charged that round shield, though. Oh, that Median cavalry rolling in, though. Sardinian champions don't want anything to do with that cavalry. Look at their numbers drop there, because the round shields also have a very good charge. And those Sardinian champions, just very little survivability here, so they got a good number of kills, but boy, they fall apart quick in combat. I'm not sure I've seen them be like amazingly effective yet. This one, though, got 52 kills, did much better there. And let's see what's going on out here. What's this special ability? It looks like the Rebellion ability is popped, and then I am Spartacus as well, so all these units that have those little circles going on their flags over here are going to be getting a pretty hefty boost to their stats. So they're going to be very combat effective right now. Now the Suebi popping, it looks like Fast Charge and Pride. So the Suebi are going to be getting extra AP right now. And then the Fast Charge, depending on the phase it's in. It looks like the charge bonus is there, the weapon damage. So both sides over here very tanked up in terms of melee stats at the moment. battle rhythm wearing off there. It looks like the rebellion is about to wear off. The I am Spartacus has worn off, so let's take a look over here on this flank. Look at these Ozit Knights swinging in here to punish those Sardinian champions, and punish them they will. There's a Samnite warrior there. Yeah, the Ozit Knights are going to start racking up kills there. Ooh, they took some nasty volleys there from those rebel marksmen. Ozit Knights, very cool units. Awesome heavy melee cav. Let's see what that Persian cavalry is up to. The Liberators, which is funny, that's the name of one of my units of Stormcast Eternals for Age of Sigmar. These Liberators, although not bathed in the armor of Sigmar and looking a brilliant Retributor armor color, they are fleeing away from the battle, and the Persian cavalry are on the way in. And they're going to intercept those Bloodsworn. Those Persian cavalry took a beating from some javelins here coming in. They are actually significantly weakened here. Here comes the freed gladiator spearmen trying to hold back the Suebi tide at the moment. And you can see these horse archers working the flank too, just trying to put some shots into those round shields. I think it's a good idea for them to be patient there, not get overly... look at these Tarentines coming in over here to work. These rebel marksmen and slingers are in some pretty big danger. There's a cataphract nearby, but it's difficult for cataphracts to counteract Tarentine cavalry because of their speed, so you'd have to use the missiles at this point to target down the Tarentines, and then maybe use the cataphracts to protect, but let's see what's happening. The eastern cataphracts are not moving that direction. In fact, they're moving the opposite direction. Again, I think hoping to stop this tide of Suebi. Those Levy Freemen going to get beat up by some noble horse archers here who have a tremendous number of kills, 143. So they have certainly been getting some work done. Those freed gladiator spearmen doing a good job holding. They've already got 61 kills. And Spartacus himself pulled back to, I think, kind of take a break here, see if they can wear down the Suebi and then keep on moving. But a pretty close fight here. It actually says it's in favor of the red team just a little. Let's see what these Ozit Knights do as they charge into those rebel marksmen. Oh, they are armed with a Romphia. Or, no, that's a Falx. Not a Romphia, but armed with a Falx. So they're going to do very nice armor-piercing work, theoretically speaking. I got to pause this real quick and try and get a handle on their weapon damage. Yeah, 14 armor-piercing. And I don't know if it carries with the weapon or if it has to be a unit specific, but I know on other units they actually get a bonus versus large, which makes me whether those rebel marksmen have such a thing, because boy, they did start really shredding that cavalry up. That's going to make that marksman an interesting dual-purpose unit there. Ozit Knights back here, not yet really joining into the combat yet. You can see that the power bar kind of creeping back towards the middle. Suebi rush has been ground down and defeated at this point. That was quite a rush by the Suebi. It did seem like it was working, but kind of that strategic retreat and use of reserves there actually kind of saved, I think, Syracuse and the Servile Rebellion, because they were initially getting overwhelmed by that Suebi rush, and that's not to be unexpected. The Suebi are very powerful in that regard. Here comes that Eastern Cataphract charging into the Swordmaster. Probably hoping to soften them up a little more. Those armored horse archers just have not quit firing. Here comes the noble horse archer, up to 160 kills. Surely it's not going to go just headlong in here. It is. Alright, it's going to get caught up over there. Alright, well, I don't know how much ammunition is left on these rebel marksmen, but they're going to be a dangerous unit in melee, too. A good amount of cavalry left here for the Seleucids. A healthy Ozit Knight. Multiple units out here. There's a Tarentine cavalry still out here, so the Seleucids have done a good job managing that cavalry and not, overcommitting anywhere. There's still a lot of skirmishers left, so I think we're going to see both sides skirmish. This rebel slinger's out of ammunition, that's why it's kind of being charged forward as bait. And let's see how this one ends up. This could get interesting. It is a very close battle, both in terms of what my eyes are telling me and in terms of what the power bar is saying here. The rebel slinger got owned there by the Levy Freeman. No one messes with the original Rome 2 goats there. And this, oh man, this Liberator is basically untouched. That could be a huge problem for the other side here. I don't know how much good melee infantry they have left. Yeah, this Liberator... I'm kind of leaning in the fact that this Liberator may be enough to turn this battle. It has... It looked like it was moving up hidden there. Formation attack, hide, and forest. Okay, so I think it was hidden while it was moving through the forest. Ooh, that Ozit Knight. took a shot there. Those rebel slingers firing at it. I believe the marksmen may have been working on it as well. Speaking of marksmen, here they go. They're loosing some volleys here on the Galatian spears. We do have a Galatian nobleman left. That is a tough unit, one that could help hold out significantly. There are 2 liberators left to deal with on the other side, as well as a mercenary Samnite warrior. So I would definitely say the infantry edge is sitting with the other side. The cavalry edge still here with the Seleucids, but it's going to be dangerous because these marksmen are going to be very dangerous towards him from range, and quite honestly, it looks like they're going to be pretty dangerous to him up close as well. Look at that. Golly, yeah, archers are just, they're effective against cavalry. And that one was into the unshielded flank of that cavalry too. So this is going to cause tremendous damage as that shield will get bypassed in that case. So yeah, those marksmen are going to take a big chunk out of that cavalry as it works around the flank. Here comes the Ozet Knights, but they get met by the Liberators right here in the gap, and I don't think that's going to go good for the Ozet Knights. Those Liberators have a fair bit of armor piercing. They're going to be very capable against cavalry. So the Ozet Knight's going to have to pull away from that. Battle Rhythm was used there as well, which means that'll go down into a cooldown period. Looks like the cavalry just kind of, bowling in here, hoping to get a hold of these rebel slingers. Look at this again here as the marksmen headed back that way. I was wondering if they were going to pull their falcons and charge into melee. Looks like they are. They should be able to hold their own with that kind of armor against those Tarentine cavalry. Look at the Liberators just slashing through here, racking up kills. Still a close battle according to the power bar. Let's look over here. A Samnite warrior taking on Galatian spears as well as those regroup Liberators. These units over here can't really win. Well, they don't want to back up either. Can't throw those units away, but I think they're worried about getting overwhelmed here. Let's see what happens. I think the Tarentine's going to go for a bit of a rear charge here. I am Spartacus, and Rebellion is popped here again. So those Samnites and Liberators are hitting real hard right now. And those Galatians are taking the brunt of it. I can see the power bar moving in favor of the home team, and it's at this point because the red team is getting units picked off, and they're not in there making the other team pay for it hard enough. That was some good job there, though. Those archer volleys right there, that one. Yeah, those Syrian archers made a pretty big difference right there. They may be on, yeah, I think they may be on, yeah, they're on heavy shot because their range is 110, so they're going to be doing extra armor piercing damage at the moment. That could be really nice into those Liberators as well, since they're high armor. Oh my gosh, look at them shred that Samnite warrior. Those are some clutch shots coming out of there. They need a unit to help hold that Liberator while these Syrians shred them. There is a freed gladiator spearman headed this direction, so that nobleman's going to be needed pretty badly to help hold these units. That heavy shot could do a ton of damage here, potentially. So the Liberator's getting kind of charged with an attempt to slow it down. The Armored Horse Archers are headed in. That Ozet Knight over here still has 50 entities in it, and it's having to steer clear of those rebel marksmen. The Syrian archers are looking real slow right now. Yeah, that Armored Horse Archer looks like it's just going for broke over here into the archers, which is not a bad play. I mean, if it hits those archers at all, then it's not going to be worth it for the red team. Yeah, they needed to move a little more quickly to intercept that unit, because the Armored Horse Archer here is just getting freebies. And these Syrian archers were actually kind of turning that battle around until they had to turn around and run. They needed the infantry in here to fix these guys so that they could finish their work with that heavy shot. The Ozet Knights move in, though, drive that unit back. Let's see what happens. Let's see if those Syrian archers can get any more critical shots. That, in the meantime, though, has left the Galatian noblemen alone to face those Liberators. Let's see what happens here. The Ozet Knights are trying to support, but they're just under constant fire here. There comes Pride. I didn't know who had Pride here. Interesting. I don't know which faction brings the Pride ability. There's another one on here, King of Kings. That one's from the Seleucids. So a lot of abilities going off here for the home team, and that could play a critical difference here in the end. Let's see if those Syrians... No, they've got daggers out, so they're out of ammunition. It looks like they were using some of their final shots in that heavy shot. Boy, they're going to get beat up. by these freed gladiator spears. Look at the stats here. They're 51 weapon damage on the gladiator spears right now. And they are still shooting at the Ozet Knights. Second win. Nice job there. That'll help the Ozet Knights, but clearing out those liberators is going to be very difficult. Then you got those rebel scavengers there as well, so the infantry advantage definitely coming in clutch here for the home team late in this one. There just wasn't enough ammunition left, it doesn't look like, to finish the battle, but in a very valiant attempt, I think, by those Syrian archers to turn that thing late. They got a lot of kills. They did some pretty serious damage. There's a bunch of units in this battle that got some significant kills. Look at that free gladiator spear, 239 kills. So yeah, what do you all think of the new faction? Make sure and get down in the comments and give me your thoughts on the new faction. It does look like, oh, they managed to get rid of Spartacus, so the Romans got what they wanted here. Spartacus died. I don't know if that's what Spartacus wanted. Maybe it was. Maybe it's better that he feels like he died rather than become a slave to the Romans again. Ozet Knights, their last hurrah here into combat, and those Syrian archers dumping all their ammunition that they could before being overwhelmed in the end. What a battle here. And Sol Invictus here bringing the new Servile Rebellion faction. Spartacus and his unit getting 192 kills. So those liberators, really cool units. Look at this, though. Holy crap, 228 on the Rebel Marksman, 128 here, 244 on the Freed Gladiator Spearmen. So some very potent units there. And then the Ninja Keeper, really good job with a couple of these Samnite Warriors. The Sardinian Champions didn't get a ton, but these Samnite Warriors did a pretty darn good job, as did that Thurios Hoplite there. And then Vord against Sauce here with the cavalry. He did good. He did enough work that, you know, helped basically keep them ahead of the enemy. He didn't necessarily like clear out all of the enemy cavalry, but he did a good job of getting a lot of kills, which ultimately paid a big deal here. Magnus coming in with Galatia. Look at the effort there in those Syrian archers. 111 kills, 133, both picking up a chevron. Nice work there. Slingers with 117 kills, so Magnus definitely getting some kills there. And then Hiker back here. I love the pick of cavalry here with the Seleucids. The Ozet Knights are just always a classic. Well done there. In the end, not enough to turn the battle, but certainly a valiant effort with those. And then Alexander here, bringing in the Suebi. I thought that Suebi push there was going to work. I actually thought they were going to break through there for a minute until it finally got slowed down and blunted. I think that was a good use of, you know, retreat and reserves, as I mentioned. But fantastic battle. You all get in the comments. Tell me what you think of the new faction. Man, the modders are doing a fantastic job. I just want to thank them, and thank Sol and all the other players here for bringing us these awesome replays. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.